Why am I including neurodivergence in my book about social class, Unwritten Rules at Work? I keep getting asked this question, especially since I've released a free chapter. So I researched the unwritten rules of work, and this mission started with researching social class and organizations, particularly for people who've experienced social class mobility. So they grew up in one class culture and now they're in another, and they're like, what is going on at work? I've always included race and gender identity in my research because in the US, those are heavily tied to class. Most people understand why that is, but if you don't, this blog on my website is free and ripe for the pickings. Neurodivergence originally wasn't on my radar either, and it's a ha-ha to me because I'm actually on the spectrum. One, neurodivergence and unwritten rules have a very strong relationship. People with different brain types process contextual cues differently, and so unwritten rules are a major barrier. So it's very relevant to unwritten rules. But there is also a class tie to neurodivergence. A lot of the stigma about people who are neurodivergent is rooted in the fear that they are not able to work. So much of our identity, especially in the US, is based on, are you able to work? Can you make me money? And if you can't, then you are not seen as valuable. And it's part of the stigma with disability. And a large percentage of people who are neurodivergent are unemployed or underemployed. And that is a class barrier. And when it's something like unwritten rules, things that are not in their job description, it's very relevant to my work on class and unwritten rules barriers. And so that is why it is included in my book. So each chapter is going to go over what the unwritten rule is, the research on it, and at least 2 case studies from real world business or government and federal or private examples of how this rule has played out and what the consequences were for the company. And we'll have recommendations for HR leaders, and staff, because class is a very complicated construct, and so are solutions. And so my hope is to talk about a very complicated topic in a very structured way and empower people at different levels in the organization to have this conversation with each other. You can get a free draft chapter on my website, drcarlschmidt.com. And in the spirit of practicing what I preach, there is a feedback box with the chapter that you can let me know what you really think about it. And I promise you my ego is not so fragile that I can't handle it.